What did I claim? You actually can't construct a deductive logical argument that the Earth's a globe. It's not possible. And why do you think that's not possible?
Right, it is possible.
Then do it.
Look, you're not the first person that's tried this. It's not possible. You know why? I'm going to tell you why it's not possible. Because it always starts with the assumption that the Earth's a globe. Because that is not self-evident. If it was self-evident, right, if you went out in the freaking world and looked and you saw curved horizon or some other factor, right, that would indicate just from pure senses and was self-evident to anybody that this is a giant ball, then you could construct a logical syllogism because you would have an axiom, but you don't have an axiom. You have to have, you starting with something that you can't actually, that's not self-evident, that can only be constructed from rationality. It can't be, like I said, you're not a cow. I don't need to construct a logical argument for that. It's obvious you're not a cow. It's obvious to everybody you're not a cow. Anyone that knows what a cow is and what you are, it's obvious you're not a cow. Okay? Period. I don't have to fucking give you reasons why you're not a cow. I don't have to construct a deductive argument, even though I can, that you're not a cow, right? And but the globe cannot be just say, it's obvious it's a ball. No, it's not obvious.
So
never been outside and be like, bam, check out this giant ball.
If we,
you have to construct it. How do you construct it?
If we give an argument backed up with evidence, it's not valid because it's not easily observable.
Giving an argument is not evidence.
Proof, dude. That's what you're not understanding.
Yes, you did.
No, I did not say. I said if I give evidence.
You said if I give an argument with evidence. So where's the evidence? I didn't
say the argument was evidence.
So where's the evidence? Because of everything that you said is just assuming the evidence. That's why I said what I said. But okay, fine. I'll rewind. Where's the evidence?
Okay. So, I've been doing like cross-state drives recently. So I've had a lot of time to think, but not a lot of time to get in the server. So what I've been pondering the past couple of days is maybe a week ago or something. I was in the call and I brought up the Aristophanes thing, whatever old Greek guy's name is, and I was told that it is possible on a flat Earth, and I was shown some diagrams and played a Vsauce.
I mean, that's kind of not relevant to the conversation we're having, because if you read Geodesy and you read what Eratosthenes supposedly did, again, like Indio told you, there's like 3 assumptions in there. So, off the bat, you know that assumptions don't turn into evidence, right? We just, or did you disagree with that?
Assumptions do not. If assumptions are proven wrong,
no, you can't. You can't assume something and prove that it's right using the assumption. That doesn't make any sense.
Why do we have to prove something wrong that has no proof?
Well, the same argument.
I'm going to assume unicorns exist. Prove they don't.
Do you have evidence for that?
I don't need evidence. I assumed it. Like you just said, if you assume it needs to be proven wrong.
No, I said, you didn't let me finish. If it can be proven wrong and there is evidence that it does happen, that unicorns do exist, and there's no evidence against unicorns existing.
You just said an assumption needs to be proven wrong. You said
because I was interrupted.
So you misspoke then?
Okay, so do you want to correct what you said?
Yes.
Does assumptions need to be proven wrong?
If assumption has evidence that it is true, and no evidence that it is wrong.
So where is the evidence? Because the assumption can't be the evidence. Like I told you, now this is becoming circular. Because if you're going to bring up Eratosthenes, if you're going to bring up Eratosthenes, and he assumed that the Earth was a sphere in the beginning, That's not proof.
What does the Earth being a sphere have to do with the measurements, though?
No, it's not. It's that he's assuming that it's a sphere. The measurements have actually nothing to do with it, because he's taking elevation angle measurements. Now, it's not an affirming the consequent fallacy to say therefore the Earth is not a globe, because by necessity an elevation angle utilizes horizontal lines.
So
that's the angles have nothing to do. No,
so let me ask you a question, Prissy. We're not trying to measure the circumference of the Earth. We're not trying to do anything. We just take a stick, we stick it in the ground, we measure the shadow length. What conclusion can we just get?
And you take a stick in another place.
Okay, and then we measure its shadow length.
Yes.
Now we have two values, two numerical values.
Yeah.
And what's the next step?
Why would you be doing that?
I don't know. You tell me. What's the next step?
To measure the circumference of the Earth.
Okay, so what's the next step?
I'm pretty sure it was compare the difference in angle or length of the shadows.
And where do those angles intersect? At the center of a sphere, right? You're assuming the sphere from the measurements. What if I don't assume the sphere and I assume it's flat? Well, I'll come to the conclusion that the sun's just closer.
Yeah, so that's exactly what I've been thinking about.
Yeah, so we have the same, during the time Eratosthenes lived, in China, they were doing the exact same thing, but they didn't assume it was a sphere, and they thought that they were measuring the flat Earth using the exact same method.
So that's exactly why I brought it up. Because
that's why we keep telling you, right? That it's like you're using an underlying assumption to reach the conclusion.
I would really love to get a couple sentences out in a row.
Yeah, go ahead. Well, we've done this lots of times, so it's like, Go ahead. Just go ahead.
Okay.
Here's your chance.
So it can be replicated on a flat Earth if the sun is closer. Right?
Yep.
What do you mean? It can be replicated? What does that mean?
Okay.
This
experiment works on a flat Earth if the sun is closer than we think it is. Then the sun is closer to Earth than what mainstream science says.
Maybe. That's another assumption.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
okay.
Just...
So it doesn't work on your model either if you don't explain it.
There's no model. There's no, what do you mean by model? There's no model.
Okay, it doesn't work on what you think
on a
the
level
Earth is
surface.
Like either.
Hold on, time out. Are you going to tell me that taking elevation angles or measuring shadow lengths won't work on a horizontal surface? Is that your statement?
But does
no, because in order to know that you need to know how.
Answer that. Doesn't work to do what exactly? What are we trying to do and make it work?
I asked if the sun was closer to the Earth than mainstream science says, and you said that's an assumption. But you can only measure the shadow lengths on a flat Earth if we know the sun is closer to us. So do we know it's closer to us?
That's an assumption.
What?
Yeah, that's an assumption. It's an incorrect assumption.
So we don't know the locality of the sun. We don't know the locality of anything.
Because you have to position the sun independently, right? Let me ask you this. If I gave you two sticks and you can pace your distance, can you find where you are on Earth?
What did this have to do with locating myself?
Because you said to make it work. I don't know what that means. What does wait make it work mean? Make it work to do what? What does make it work mean? To do what? Find the distance of the sun or find the surface of the Earth? Which one are we trying to do?
So, I am saying, just hold on. If on a flat plane, we can measure the differences between those angles. If the sun is close-ish to the Earth. Like, not as far away as what a lot of people say it is. It is in a local area. Because that is what I've heard the explanation is that we have a local closed system sun.
So it appears to be.
Are you going to get to a conclusion?
We don't claim that you can measure the position of the sun or the earth using sticks and shadows.
I didn't say you did.
At best, using assumptions, that would be an indirect measurement of either the sun or the surface of the earth. That's at best. That's the best you can do. But it's loaded with assumptions, loaded with the angles of the rays. It's loaded by, do I have the sticks level, plumb lines? Is gravity actually freaking perpendicular? There's shitloads of assumptions. Is the sun in a common position? Like, am I looking at the same sun the other guy's looking at? Because the evidence is that that's actually not the case, right? Because of refraction and all. There's so many problems. There's so many assumptions loaded into this. This is a trash test. It's just trash. I don't know what else to say. Like, it's just trash.
But we do know that there's a difference in the angles, right?
We know that if we take two sticks and they're some distance apart, right? That the shadows, all other things being equal, right? If the sticks are equal, both perpendicular, same angle, we know that they'll cast shadows of different lengths. That's all we can say 100% sure with certainty. Is the results of the observation. All the other shit, all the conclusions drawn from that observation need to be constructed rationally. When you try to do that, you're going to find out that there's shitloads of assumptions that you have to stack in there before you can reach any conclusion. That's why, listen, there's a reason why I'm on this, because when Clovers come in here and say, we don't think logically, dude.
I never said that.
Yeah, you did.
Oh my God.
No, I didn't. I said I came here to find out how you think logically, because a lot of globe earthers think you don't, and I didn't believe that. That's why I want to know the logic behind your argument.
Hey.
You haven't learned any
there's no logic behind your argument, so it doesn't even matter what our argument is technically.
You haven't learned any logic tips from your logic globe friends. You know? Like that's the problem. Like, you're trying to figure it out on the fly here. If your friends were here, they wouldn't do any better. They would just be asserting the same things that you're asserting. Just, saying that their logic is correct. But, I mean...
I'm not saying my logic is correct.
No, I didn't say you. I said your friend. Now you're being defensive.
Yeah. That's a great thing about logic, is that it's really objective, and you can just, you can't change the rules or make up your own thing or talk about your feelings. It is what it is. It's either a logical statement or not. It's been laid out for a long time. No one's rewriting the rules. It's almost like mathematics, right? 1 + 1 is 2. Can't change it. Can't reinvent it. It is what it is. So the globe actually has no logic. It can't make an actual deductive logical statement to prove it's a globe. Period. End of story. Okay? So
that's what I'm saying. Like, when I make a statement, I'm like, there's no assumption to be had. If I need to measure an elevation angle, the first thing I need to do is to make sure my device is level.
So,
your level is horizontal, and it's pretty freaking simple.
There's no assumption there. But but here's the thing: the truth in that disqualifies the Earth being a globe.
So, what do you
measure the elevation angle from? The horizontal. You measure from the horizon. You measure up.
This is something that we actually do. This is something that practically happens. I'm not imagining a globe. I'm not saying put a stick here and a stick there. I'm not doing any of that. I begin with something practical. You began with something practical. Okay, measure these shadow lengths. And we're like, okay, what's the conclusion?
So we make an observation. We agree that the shadows are different lengths, and then we are not allowed to do. What are we allowed to do with that information?
You do whatever you want. You just can't say I've proven something.
You just can't use it to support any scientific argument.
Think of it. Exactly. Well, that's not even science. It's a geometric.
So observations can't be used to back up facts?
Nobody said that.
Facts. Now you're just inserting shit that you don't have.
No.
Observation is the fact.
Yeah.
It isn't an observation to back up facts. The observation is the fact. So different shadow lengths on states that are distances apart, that is the facts.
Everyone in live stream voice chat, I'm just not reading what you guys are saying. Like,
all right. Can you address what Indio said? So you measure the shadow lengths. Those are the facts. What now?
I can use that observation to reach a conclusion.
What conclusion?
Build it.
That the Earth is round.
Okay.
How?
So how did you get to that logically?
Because if I would have what do you mean if? What do you have with a problem with that word? Like,
no, I didn't. Nobody stopped you.
Oh, I thought I heard you go, oh, when I said if.
Use that word, but go ahead. Because if you have to use if, that means whatever comes next after that is an assumption.
No,
that's how we use the word if.
Okay.
Because it's a possibility, it isn't known, right? So that part after the if, that's not a fact.
I think a problem that I see a lot in the flat Earth community.
No, just start with the two. You have the two angles. You have the two angle measurements, or the two shadow length measurements from two different areas on the Earth. You said, then we prove it's a globe. Well, make the next logical step, because you have an observation, you have some facts, you have two different shadow lengths. Now, what is the next step?
I gather more observations.
Okay, say you have 1,000 measurements.
No, not like the same thing. Like different
the same exact thing.
So I can only use one data point in my experience?
Right now, since we're talking about one method, how are you going to jump to another method? That makes no sense.
Because if we can all agree that these multiple observations are true.
How come I didn't have to do that?
I didn't ask you to prove anything.
Yeah, but I was the one that started this exercise. So again, how come I didn't have to do that? How come I didn't have to breakdance like you're doing now?
You can't even see what you're doing, can you?
Because I didn't say anything illogical. I didn't say anything untrue, and I even said that one of the self-evident one of the things that I was using disqualifies the globe. I said all of these things, none of it is untrue. Now you can challenge the third thing I just said, and I would, continue that conversation, and I guarantee you I won't sound like what you sound like.
Yeah. So
all you've done is said that shadows are at different lengths. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, glad we cleared that up.
Shadows are at different lengths.
Yeah, that's it. That's all you're observing.
Yeah, you said I couldn't use any other observations. I just have to stay here with this one thing.
No, but your conclusion comes from this observation. How do you get
not
that
just
conclusion?
This observation?
Wait. But that's what Indio said. If there's a premise in here, okay, fine. How do you tie it to the Earth being a globe?
What was your example again? I remember water being level. What was your second one?
Well, that wasn't a logical syllogism. So that you had to follow closely to the conversation, because Indio and I were kind of on two different points, but it was closely related. Maybe it was a red herring.
I remember
whatever.
Men have wings and things with wings can fly. The men can fly. I remember that one.
Changing the subject.
That was.
I'm not changing the subject. I'm literally going back to the original thing we're talking about.
No, that was the logical fallacy, which I pointed out. So. What was that? It doesn't even matter, because that was actually a logical fallacy.
Okay, so what was your example of a logical?
He didn't make
syllogism.
He didn't make the syllogism. I did. Okay. It was all men are mortal. Aristotle's a man, therefore Aristotle's immortal. Get it? Or all mortals die. Aristotle's immortal, therefore Aristotle will die. Okay? How about that?
It's not the same rules I'm bound to. Because we know Aristotle did die.
It's got nothing to do with Aristotle.
No, but why not? Why not? Why?
That all mortals die, dude. Aristotle's immoral, therefore Aristotle died. Is something wrong with that?
No, because the first one you said.
The first one I said was phrased, all men are mortal. Aristotle is a man. Or no, therefore Aristotle is immortal, right? It doesn't matter. It follows from books. The conclusion follows from the two premises, and they're logically connected. Right? So Aristotle has a property of the first premise. Right? So I can lay it out like this. If A equals B, and B equals C, A also equals C. Got it?
All right. So I need to make one of those. And I can't make one about anything. I need to do it about how the Earth is round.
Do what you want, man. But we're just telling you, man, the facts of the matter. The facts of the matter is you can't actually construct one because the globe has to be assumed.
You didn't construct one with the globe being flat.
I can, no problem.
Need a good example.
Well, we have a logical axiom, right?
So can I get that syllogism that proves that it's flat?
The Earth looks flat, right? I see things. I can trust my own eyes, therefore the Earth is flat. Real simple.
So, how can
now before that's
actually I don't even have. Wait. I don't need a logical syllogism because, like I said, it's an axiom that the Earth looks flat.
So why do I need a logical syllogism either?
Because
if you don't,
you don't have an axiom. You don't have an axiom. That's the problem. When I
did not go into an axiom.
When I said, I gave you. I gave you an axiom.
What was that?
I did. Water at rested level. That's something that you can just observe. Like, holy shit, there's this lake. It's frozen.
The ship's going over the horizon.
Not over, because
ships disappearing bottom up, like the thing we agreed on.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. We agreed with that. But how do you logically connect it to it being a globe? That's the question. But let's not go in circular paths here. The point is, when we say, when we say the Earth looks flat, here's the thing about that is a problem for you. That's not really a problem. No one disagrees. No one.
Yeah. If I may interject, it's something just.
Hold on, Helio. You know why no one disagrees? When I say no one, I mean even globe believers, because they think that effectively, as far as we can see, it's flat locally.
Except everything if you go high enough.
No, listen.
Locally means.
Listen. It doesn't matter how high you go. Mathematically, even at the height of the ISS, you can't see any curvature because you can only see 3% of the horizon. So, 3% of the Earth. So that horizon would look flat. That's paraphrased by Paul Larson, planetarium director. So, doesn't matter how high you go, the Earth appears flat, and everybody knows that. So that's not even in contention. So that statement right there is just true on its face.
Hold on.
Do you deny it? Do you deny it? I'm sorry. Do you deny it?
Yes, because if we go to a certain elevation, we can see curvature.
Not if we go to a certain elevation.
If we are at sea level, yes, it appears to be flat.
So then
at
great.
Sea level.
So we have an axiom. When
at
does it
sea
begin
level.
looking? So we have an axiom. When does it begin looking like a globe?
I don't got the numbers on me right now.
Okay, so Google it. And then when you find the numbers, give us a real world example.
Like the mountain you guys can go to?
You think you can see curve from a mountain?
Okay, the point.
Listen,
Sorry,
I want to hold on. In fact, come on, let me do this really quick. There's the term "we," meaning like I think he means by the general consensus, and I meaning I've done this. He's like, we've been there, and if we did this, if we did that, we might find this certain type of thing. So there's a definite difference between we and I.
Yeah. Okay, Helio, for real.
Yeah, for real.
Okay. Thanks.
No, it sounds funny, but no, it's
we're talking about logical syllogisms, Helio. Like we're like be a part of the conversation.
I'm gonna get some water. I'll be right back.
Dude, I was listening. God damn it!
All right, so it's like, who cares about the we and who cares?
Well, obviously I do. So go ahead.